Hello and welcome, my Taurus collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs and cross watchers. Welcome to your 8-card draw. What do I need? Shadow read for this full moon to new moon in June 2023. I am your reader, fellow Earth sign Virgo that I am, Mark Angelo Lyons. Mal for short. You like the new music, by the way? I'm a professional witch. I'm a professional intuitive. I am the president of Drawing the Circle Productions since 1998. Just made 25 years in service. I am the author of Words of Grace. From a professional witch, there is a Kindle version available if you'd like to check it out. There is a link in the description box, and that is the Kindle version. The original version's over on Patreon. Patreon.com/drawingthecircle. We just added, at the time of this recording, a 7-day free trial option for Seeker, the first level. If you want to go check that out. Oh, we're doing a lot of cool stuff over there. All of my subscribers, however, regardless of level of subscription, get 3 things in common. Well, except for those 7-day trials, you gotta wait for some of those. You'll see what I mean. Number 1, they get all the extended readings, the part 2 for the part 1. So yeah, free trial, we get that, right? There are a lot of them. It would take you a while to watch all of them, more than 7 days, that's for sure. They get the daily check-ins, an unlisted YouTube live stream link that I send every morning pretty much to my subscribers so they can chat with me about the day's astrological weather, the magical applications, the spiritual implications. We always end on a little prayer, a little blessing, a little something to send us on our way. It's my absolute favorite way to start the day after coffee, obviously. It sets me up for everything that I have to do as president of Drawing the Circle Productions, and on and on and on and on. The third thing all my subscribers get is a significant discount. And I think for a free trial, we might withhold that. I think you need to be a subscriber to get a significant discount in booking private sessions with Mal, which I made a new video for the 25th year. We'll talk about it at the end, but we'll get down to business before that. So if you are interested, if you are so willing to check it out, man, you can check me out for free for 7 days, and you can come Patreon on Patreon with the Archangel of Lyons, Mark Angelo Lyons, but you can just call me Mal. Hey, my bulls, my adorables. It is shadow read time, so we'll do some explanation for the new Tauruses and cross watchers, and then we'll get down to the divination to help you let go, release, transform, surrender Dorothy over a 2-week period. So a card draw is just one card from 8 different decks, giving you clues, tips, and hints about really anything, but we're using it for a 2-week period, so a timed reading, not a timeless reading. But I have found you can go look back at like tricky periods of your time, of your lifeline, your timeline, and kind of say, oh, then it hits you in the face a bit more. I also do the 5-card draws for the waxing, the 2-week to plant a seed, watch it grow. This is clear the field, do the spiritual alchemy from lead to gold, shadow to light, pain to peace, the shadow work, and all of that. There are chakras involved. My book, Words of Grace, is broken down into chakra chapters with some other supplemental chapters in there. So let's look at this 2-week period. We're looking at the full moon in Sagittarius, Saturday, June 3rd, 11:42 p.m. Eastern Time. I am in New York. 11:42 is perfect witching hour. 11:30 p.m. to 12:30 a.m., a foot in each day. That works well. And full moon in Sagittarius, light a candle for anything. And on a Saturday, could be very wealth-inducing, I'm just going to say. When the moon rides out her peak, then ye heart's desire seek. For 3 days, you get that lovely full moon energy. Then you start the shadow work, in my opinion, unless it hits when it hits, And that will lead you 2 weeks later to the new moon in Gemini on a Sunday. That's brilliant in and of itself, except it happens on Sunday, June 18th, 12:37 a.m., right? So after midnight, it will go void, of course, at 2:24 a.m., meaning it will be in between signs. So if you want the Gemini end of that, that's what I'm going to be casting for. I'll be doing some air magic, because on a Sunday, that's a wonderful day of success, what I call a clear quartz magic day, right? Like anything, right? Or white candle magic, just, free range on that one. But then the moon does go into Cancer, 6:58 a.m., so maybe you cast twice, 2 different seeds, right? And I will have the 5-card draw, what do I need reads for the beautiful nudifles out before then for well, and that's again 6:58 a.m. In between those days of note, Venus is entering Leo on the 5th of June. So if you've got any planets in Leo, you might want to check that out. Well, it would square Taurus, right? Fixed earth to fixed fire. On the 11th of June, Pluto goes into Capricorn. Now that's going to trine a Taurus at some point. Saturn is retrograding in Aquarius. Again, another square, right? Fixed air to fixed earth, Taurus there. And that will be happening in the dark moon on the 17th, which then the 18th is the next day, the new moon. So the last 3 days before new moon is the balsamic, the dark moon. That's usually when the shadow work gets at its most intense, the death before rebirth. Play with your metaphors as you will. But that's what these reads are for, is to help people do the shadow work, release, let go, surrender, whatever you want to call it. Because every time we do that, we shift to what I call the golden timeline, or a more golden timeline. Lead, having 3 more atoms than golden, is toxic, right? It's an insulator, energy can't move through it. Gold, a conductor, healing. It's symbolic. It's not literal alchemy, it's symbolic alchemy. And that's why the first card down is the Caroline Myss archetype card, because it shows us what soul power is in your 8th chakra that's going to shift everything in your chakras underneath it, so you have the opportunity to no longer delay the alchemy that can't be prevented. I mean, you'll come back over and over and over again to do it, right, and repeat it over and over. This is why clear the field, kind of get the weeds out of the garden bed, if you will, so that the seeds you plant are unaffected, you know. But it's a journey. It's a 2-week. Better than saving it up for those last 3 days, right? So I think that's enough explanation. Both feet on the floor if you can. Focus on your breath if you will. I will do my best to help anybody shift to a more golden timeline step by step. You don't do it all at once. It's totally a journey, and you got a 2-week period, so better to go with the flow than against it. So the shift from all that, the shift from all that explanation, which I'm glad to do for the new Tauruses and cross-watchers, you have the opportunity for some sympathy, some empathy, some understanding and insight for the Taurus you are cross-watching for, and maybe you call in the archangel indicated, or you work with the spirit animal or totem or the mantra or whatever to assist them in their process as well, because everybody is fighting a battle. Be kind. It's the paraphrase of a classic truth. So yeah, let's make the shift from explanation to divination. My hair feels like it's looking good, you tell me. That happens in the still point. And I think earth signs have a better shot at finding still point. Ready? Breathe. Here we go. Still point. Pantheonic override. Using the Caroline Myss archetype cards, I call upon the collective pantheons of the divine for the beloved Taurus collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs, and cross-watchers who are watching this video and who are drawn to this reading. Please, beloved ones, what is the dominant soul power, the archetype being alchemized from shadow to light, lead to gold, pain to peace, toxic to healthy, fear to love, right? Poverty to prosperity, enslavement to liberation. Lead to gold, fear to love for the Taurus collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs, and cross-watchers. This full to new June 2023, the Beggar archetype. Now it's a wild card family archetype. There are 9 different families. The wild card is the ones that don't fit into any of the other ones. The Beggar is an ancient archetype. Read your ancient scriptures. Doesn't matter where it comes from on the planet, right? In cavemen, there were beggars, right? But this is not always so very literal. Sometimes if you just see it in the literal, and you're like, bro, I don't beg, right? It's like, it's not all about that. The shadow attribute written on a card represents the lead. You call it the lead attribute. 3 atoms away from gold, the healthy. The shadow attribute of the beggar is dependence on others to the exclusion of effort. So look, you might be dealing with someone doing this in your life. Reason, season, or lifetime. We all have to beg at some point. I just prefer to beg to the divine rather than anybody else in the horizontal plane. Thank you very much. Look, we're all learning healthy dependence, which is called interdependence, healthy interdependence instead of codependence, right? We all have to depend on each other. There's only one of us incarnate. There's only one life force, right? And we're it, right? We're all it. It's the exclusion of effort part. That's a choice. That's a choice. Because effort need not always be so very physical. It can be through prayer. It can be through really anything, any kind of effort that's made. The light, the gold, confronts empowerment at the level of physical survival. See, because you are an immortal being. You've been on this planet over and over and over again. So they don't just hand the beggar archetype to souls first time on planet Earth. Oh, no, 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 no. Because it awakens the spiritual authority that you have. This is a power, the authority of humility, compassion, and self-esteem. Look, Taurus, second house, life values. This is bedrock stuff. This is about being, in other words, awakening your spiritual authority of humility, knowing that you don't know even what's going on for you, let alone for everybody else, right? Compassion, which is the fusion of love and wisdom, and self-esteem, which is a verb. It's not a noun, it's a verb. It's like saying, no, I am a divine child. I have been on this planet before. I have learned a lot. I have value because all life does. Do you see the difference? So it's not just all about, asking people for money, right? It's such a... archetypes, when you go straight on like that, sometimes you miss the message entirely. You gotta kind of finesse it. But I'm a Virgo. We're good at that. Virgo power. Cross your legs. Let's keep going. The next 4 chakras down we're doing with 1 card. Daughters of the Moon Tarot, because it is the feminine energy, the internal, creative intuition, the world behind your eyes that nobody knows unless you're sharing it, right? If it is a major arcana card, it's all 4 of those chakras at once, but usually 1 is indicated. Let's see what hits the table. Please take a nice deep breath. You're gonna love this. Still point. Goddess override. As my Taurus cat starts coughing up a hairball. Spring is here. Still point. Good boy, Milky. Here we go. He sheds all year long. As I call to my beloved goddesses of Earth, the sign of Taurus, powers of the North, please, beloved goddesses of fixed Earth, 1 card in clarity for the Taurus collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs, and cross watchers who are watching this video and drawn to this reading. What do they need to be aware of in the internal world? The heart, their third eye crown dynamic to help them alchemize. The beggar archetype, this full to new June 2023. 8 of Pentacles, the learner. You have the wisdom inside of you, but it is that humility. It is that humility to say, all right, I'm learning. The grace of humility is the first and the last grace in my book, Words of Grace. It starts off as the maiden grace, and there is a maiden here being taught how to weave a blanket by a crone, and there's evidence of her work, right? She's been doing this a very long time. And certainly it is an earth sign on the inside of you, so there is value, there is worth. But humility, why it's the last grace in my book, is because it is my saving grace, to know that I do not know, but I'm willing to be shown. I'm willing to learn. That takes effort, right? So that right there, if you get, all right, I'm building, if this was from the outside looking in, we'll get that in the next card. Certainly we would be looking at, doing the hard work on the outside, and that's yet to be seen. But there is hard work going on inside of you. You are learning a lot. Wisdom comes from experience. That's why it's element of earth on the inside. It's not about your internal organs. Unless it is, it's a general read. It's pretty general. General practitioner. Let's look at this. Lower 3 chakras, outside in, looking at you like looking in a mirror, or maybe you're mirroring someone. Lower 3 chakras are relationships in the physical world, your relationship to yourself in the solar plexus, your relationship to other people, money, sex, and power in the 2nd chakra, and root chakra, relationships to groups, tribes, places, literal as well. Masculine Dynamic, yang dynamic, mythic tarot. Let's see what hits the table. Please take a nice deep breath. Still point. God override. As I call upon my gods of earth, the sign of Taurus, powers of the north, please, beloved gods of fixed earth, getting some big Mithras vibe going on here, please, one card in clarity for the Taurus collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs and cross watchers who are watching this video and who were led to this reading. What do they need to be aware of inside out, outside in? Yang dynamic, lower three chakras to alchemize the beggar archetype. This full to new Heracles strength. The strength card. Here we go. When it's a major arcana card, it's all three in that chakric zone. So this is about you facing your fear. It's not about being foolish. I mean, Heracles had 12 labors to regain his divinity. He was already a god. He got demoted. Some shady shit went on, right? It's not all of the legendary adventures, right? There was a lot. He had to perform 12 labors to get there, all through surrender in some way, shape, or form, kneeling or bowing. It's a thematic line throughout all 12. So when do you need the strength card? Right? When do you face the Nemean lion? When do you garner that strength? That is about endurance. That is about courage. That is about trusting maybe not what's going on so much in your third eye. That wisdom of the Eight of Pentacles feels more heart to me, right? A heart's wisdom, particularly with that compassion. If you know that you do not know and you're compassionate with yourself, that's giving you a nice solid foundation of an 8, right? To then have that, if that's you from the outside looking in, or in the situation that you're in, that then this is about developing strength by paying attention to your lower three chakra intuition, survival intuition. And what is this about? Confronts empowerment at the level of physical survival. And it does take strength. But that's the thing, we're not born with that. Well, that's an aspect of the soul. So we were that before we were born. We always will be. But we forget all that stuff, right? So these challenges, yes, these things have been sent to try us, but, you know, it's all about us remembering who we are. A spiritual awakening, whatever you want to call it. Regaining your divinity through 12 labors, at least in a mythic context here with Heracles. Let's go real earth sign, right? Let's do the whispers of Lord Ganesha. She puts the A on the end. Angelo Hartfield. I'm up for it. I've had a relationship with Lord Ganesh since I started drawing the Circle Productions, because I started working with the Ishaya monks, Ishaya. Check them out if you could find one. Check them out. The remover of obstacles, the Hindu elephant-headed god of success and prosperity. Let's see what his guidance and grace is for you for the shadow work. Please take a nice deep breath. Oh, let's put that on top of that. Please take a nice deep breath. Still point. Ganesh override. As I call upon the beloved Ganesh, remover of obstacles, god of success and prosperity, please. One card in clarity for the Taurus collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs and cross watchers who are watching this video. Perhaps you called to this reading. What is your guidance, your grace, your wisdom, your powerful oracle message to help them alchemize? The beggar in the 8th chakra, learner on the 8th, learner on the inner, 8 of Pentacles, strength on the outer with Heracles, this full to new. Innocence. Aries just got this. You saw how long it took me to shuffle those cards, okay? That's how I know that they weren't just thinking together. No. Innocence. You guys do this a lot with Aries. I'm just saying, I don't know, I must be reading for like the same bunch of people over and over and over again. Yeah, well, that's good. I'm glad to serve. Innocence. Wow. I mean, that's when you're coming from humility, right? I don't know. I'm doing the best that I can. Particularly the way things are changing so fast in the world. Again, It's not like it hasn't happened before. 43, sorry, I looked like a 43. 43, yeah. You want to read this again? It's 2 times in the same day? Okay. See if Gemini gets it too. I might have to smudge that deck. Innocence. The simplest gestures of love and respect can prevail over even the toughest hearts. In this card, let me see this. I don't know if you can see it that much, but he's like lit. He's like all lit up. He's lit. In this card, the lightness of the aura around Ganesha portrays innocence. By being soft and still, you give the universe the opportunity to assist you in creating your desires. Be willing to release any cynicism. Have you noticed yourself becoming increasingly critical over time? As you gather more experience, sometimes the familiarity of a situation can cause you to lose touch with your innocence. Like if you've been in it for a while. Whatever's going on here that is requiring this courage in the physical world. It is only natural to expect similar outcomes as you have had in the past when similar situations present themselves in your life. Don't forget, though, that change and transformation are always possible. It's the point of these readings, to guide in that somewhat. You are being offered an opportunity to approach this situation with renewed peace, right? To come at it from a place of peace. It's different, right? You are making changes, if you are making changes to your job situation, relationships, or even the direction of your life path, approach this with a sense of exploration and the excited curiosity of a child. Now, the inner child stuff was a bit more heavier, I would say, in the Aries read than this one. I mean, we're working with the beggar archetype here, so that innocence and humility. The grace of humility is the shield against humiliation. Right, so that's why people don't like the word humility. They immediately think it's groveling. No, it is your innocence, and it's a shield. It's a shield against. Because if you know that you don't know, how can you be humiliated? Hey, I did the best I could. Right, it's such an innocent place to be. Be willing to let go of the preconceived ideas you have developed over time in your mind. Allow your heart to be centered in a place of peace. Every day, call on Ganesh for guidance to renew your mind and refresh your thinking. I think that's not a bad idea every day for, 2 weeks or as long as you need to, right? With Ganesha's assistance, contemplate each situation you encounter. Ask Ganesha to support you. Remember to pray for freedom from fears, worries, and unhealthy obsessions that might control your thoughts and harm your soul. Well, if you're in a beggar situation or dealing with a beggar, it's like that. It's just like, I don't know what to do with this situation anymore, right? Be accountable for your decisions and their results. Just knowing that you are responsible will assist you to take decisions seriously and with greater consideration. So to come from a place of innocence doesn't mean naivete. It is the purity of the soul. That's Course in Miracles, man. The Son of God cannot sin in a dream, and we're all what the Course calls the sonship, right? So all of us is one. Call it, change the language if you like. So, we're immortal souls that keep coming in here, this plane and probably others, experiencing things like we're playing a character, right? Nobody stays in the same body forever. That's Nosferatu. No, Nosferatu. No, Nosferatu, right? That innocence, that radiance from within you, which will absolutely fuel that courage, but it does take courage to do that. But if you know you're learning, if you're gaining this wisdom, you've got a nice solid foundation, you're only 1 pentacle away from the 9. So on the inner, that's real, like, self, where you estimate yourself as like, no, I'm good. I may not be at the 10, but I'm all right. I got this, right? It's good. Yeah, makes sense. Let's move on. Let's call to the Archangels. The Archangel Fire Oracle by Alexandra Wenman. Everyone has access to Archangels, but you gotta call. They see everything. They see the entire spectrum all at once, most of them at least. So which one are you gonna call? Who are you gonna call? Ghostbusters? No, you're gonna call upon an Archangel. So let's find out who is waiting in the wings, all ready to help, but won't come unless you call. Please take a nice deep breath. Still point. Archangelic override. as I call to the pantheons of archangels, for the Taurus collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs and cross-watchers who are watching this video and who were drawn to this reading. Please, beloved ones who's waiting in the wings with the wings, ready to fly in and help the Taurus collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs and cross-watchers who are watching this video and who were drawn to this reading, alchemize the beggar in the 8th. From shadow to light, lead to gold, pain to peace, toxic to healthy, fear to love, this full to new, Sequid Hosey. I practiced saying the name, I still hope I said it right. A Russian reference there, Soquedhozi, and this is about balance, and this is about relationships, because when it's a hard name to say, I'm a Virgo, I go in hard, and I learn as best as I can. I could still probably do like another 100 vocalizations of that to lock it into the, hey, where are we here? Where are you, Soquedhozi? There you are, Sequedhozi. Balance. That's the word. Tiny writing. The archangel known as Keeper of the Divine Balances, Sequedhozi, is the angel associated with intimate partnerships and is shown here as a half-man, half-woman Russian circus performer. He or she helps us maintain our individuality while acknowledging the interconnectedness of all things. Yeah, we're all one, but we all have different roles to play, right? We just don't want only carrots on the planet. I love carrots. We need some, variety, spice of life, blah, blah, blah. Keeping a flow of loving energy where each person positively affects and supports the energy of others. Okay, I'm going to go a little further. Sequedhozi can help you to recognize and heal imbalanced partnerships where you may feel you are being drained. While we all need to lean on loved ones from time to time, it is unhealthy for a relationship to be built entirely on one person's needs and another person's attempts to fulfill those needs. I don't know, it sounds like the Beggar archetype. Seriously. And to bring that, into balance? The message. Human beings have an innate need to interact with others. I will help bring balance to your love life and relationships, and above all, have a good relationship with yourself, which is what I am seeing there with, that innocence card is there. That's your inherent innocence. You have power here, right? But it is really that shift from the lead to gold here. You've got a good foundation of wisdom. We'll do a blessimation at the end here for sure. But this is on the table, and obviously you're dealing with other people here, right? I mean, even begging to the divine, I guess that's not to people personally, but it's a good place to start. Show me my innocence. I know that I do not know. I'm willing to be shown. Bring this into balance. On the inner, and then of course in your relationship to yourself, solar plexus there, strength card. I would say if we were going to pick one chakra there for the strength card, it's solar plexus. It's about personal power. Yep. Takes work, takes labor. Just do. So, Divine Animal Oracle will get us what your spirit animals and totems can do if you ask them to. The Animal Pantheon Kingdom is one of my favorites, so please take a nice deep breath. Still point. Animal Kingdom override. Totem and spirit animal override as I call to the spirit animals and totems for the Taurus collective Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus signs and cross watchers who are watching this video and drawn to this reading. Please, beloved ones, who walks with them, who swims with them, who flies with them, who crawls with them, giving them the protection, the guidance, the grace, the love, the wisdom, and the powerful oracle message to help them alchemize. The Beggar archetype from shadow to light, lead to gold, pain to peace, toxic to healthy, fear to love, dysfunction to function. Clearing their throat chakras, one might think they're with the Taurus cat coughing up a hairball, keeping it in a somewhat lighter zone here. Who walks with them, who swims with them, who flies with them, who crawls with them. This beautiful full to, oh, here we go, this full to new, June 2023, the hyena, fear. I just want you to know that if this is about money, in any given moment, when that fear comes, ask this question of your guides in prayer, whatever. How many people are feeling exactly this way on planet Earth in total right this moment? And don't be surprised when you get numbers back in the billions, right? There's like 7.6 billion people, I think, on planet Earth, right? If you get like, 3 million, might not seem, it's a lot, right? So just know that you're not just healing this for you, you're healing this for everybody. Okay, the hyena. I do go on. Hey, I'm a student and a teacher of Course in Miracles. Give it a shot, you'll see what I mean. 38. It's a hiatus. Is it a hiatal hyena? Look, man, I was raised by a nursery school teacher. I have a lot of goofy shit, but there are mnemonic devices that help me remember certain things. Yeah. I only recently found out that Twinkle Twinkle Little Star and Row 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 Your Boat are the same fucking song. My childhood was ruined. No, it wasn't. Ready, hyena. Wait a minute. Is that what it was? Twinkle Twinkle Little Star? Whatever. Fear. I wish I could take that out in the edit. Fear. Examine. Oh, the alphabet song. Thank you, Spirit Guides. Derp. The Twinkle Twinkle Little Star and the alphabet song. Try it. You'll see what I mean. Fear, hyena. Examine your fears, especially the fear of difference, of the unknown, and of death, because those are the things that we are most afraid of, right? A fear of difference, the fear of humiliation, fear of the unknown, the fear of chaos, and the fear of death, the fear of God. I mean, those are the three controlling fears, so that's right there. There may be an abandonment of something, a belief, a person, a place. Remember that, because something is strange doesn't mean that it cannot be beautiful or good. We all have a job to do. We all have our own genius. Be sure that you have correct information and have truthful understanding. Look, I know a lot of people that are letting go of great big huge things in their life, places to live, jobs, careers, family members, not just, divorces, but like divorcing family members. It's because this is the time that we're in right now, right? And it can be very, very terrifying. It's a lot of loss. You cannot have a thought of lack without fear, or fear without lack. That's Course in Miracles. So hyena magic. Hyena magic is complex and is a living tradition. The hyena is its own sacred deity, much like the coyote is in Native American traditions, although it is perhaps darker in nature. Hyenas are tricksters, boundary riders, and the bringers of mystery, and are important in funerary rituals. They may be harbingers of death, but they are also clear away what is no longer needed. In Nigerian traditions, hyena masks are worn to signal the end of rituals, which reflects how hyenas clear up dead things, bones and all, and everything is finished. Some societies take this literally, with the Maasai of Africa leaving their dead out to be consumed by hyenas. If a corpse is rejected by a hyena pack, it means social and spiritual disgrace. Well, I guess for the people left behind, I don't know how that works. For some, hyena magic also extends to the integration and balance of masculine and feminine energies. So I would look to that Eight of Pentacles on the inner, the feminine, and the Strength card, Heracles, in the masculine. The Bambara people of Africa employ the imagery of the hermaphrodite hyena to signify the transformation of a neophyte into a fully initiated man, a powerful symbol of the unification of masculine and feminine, which you have to admit, a lot of people are freaking terrified, right, of their other polarity, right? Like, how many women are just terrified of men? I mean, I'm your sister from another, but I'm your sister that came back as a mister to figure out men, and I'm still like, what is going on, right? So, but this is a balance of masculine and feminine. You know what? I'm going to say that the head might be saying one thing, the masculine, but the heart might be saying another, and that will tear you in half. That brings you right into imbalance. So choose your innocence. I know that I don't know. I know that I don't know, but I'm willing to be shown. I'm willing to put in effort. I just don't know. Because chances are you're a Taurus. You've already done everything that you can think of doing and everything that was suggested. But this isn't over. there is alchemy available here for you. The Macon Healing Mantra, if you've been watching me for a while, they bumped it to the 7th card. It used to be, I think, the 4th card. Makes more sense this way, actually. It only took like 4 years to figure that out. But things grow and evolve as we grow and evolve. So, the perfect healing mantra from the Macon Healing Mantra deck to help you do this alchemy and nail this fucker. Please take a nice deep breath. Still point. Ascended Master Override. As I call upon the Ascended Masters of the General Assembly, please, beloved ones, one card in clarity, the perfect healing mantra for the Taurus Collective. Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, Signs, and Cross Watchers who are watching this video and were drawn to this reading. Perfect healing mantra to help them alchemize the Beggar in the 8th, Learner on the inner, Heracles on the outer, removing obstacles with innocence, the balancing grace of the help of Sequid Hosey, and the help and the guidance of the hyena to help them clear away what needs to be cleared away. It is, after all, a shadow read, and deal with the fear and the lack, because you can't have one without the other. The perfect healing mantra, please, this full to new June 2023, processing grief. My losses prove how deeply I loved. Now, I know people put grief in context of somebody crossing, right? Crossing over. It's not just about that. There are 4 ego wounds, according to Matt Kahn, in a video he did quite a while. You'll probably find it on his YouTube channel. The 4 ego wounds: abuse, neglect, codependence, and loss. The first 3 maybe you've experienced in this life, maybe you haven't, but nobody gets away without the wounds of loss. Because there is no gain without loss in a dualistic paradigm. It's the rising and the setting and, you know, the cycles, and exactly what we're looking at here in this read. So if when somebody comes to me with anxiety stuff, I ask them, I go, well, please repeat after me. They go, okay. And I say, grief. Oh, if they're feeling a lot of grief, that's what I say. I say, repeat after me. I say, grief. They say, grief is repressed. Anxiety is repressed grief. Sorry, man. You know what? I kind of get that this must be a very confusing situation, because I don't usually know Tauruses to not give it their best effort, particularly if it's something important to them that they value. So it feels like there might be some conflicting things going on here in terms of the information, which I think is also spoken of here. Right, the innocence to know that you do not know. You might not have all the information here, though I'm sure you're doing your best, and fear is getting in the way of that. So anxiety is repressed grief. That's what it is. It's like walking on eggshells if the grief isn't processed. So that was hard to say, I think, just linguistically. It is true. I saw it in a TED Talk, or maybe Matt Kahn said it, I don't remember which. Processing grief. My losses prove how deeply I loved. And that's that heart wisdom that I'm feeling there in that 8 of Pentacles. When grief is processed, you are able to notice the maturity you gained even when losing the people, places, and things that once defined your sense of self. As you process grief, you are able to celebrate how deeply you committed to love instead of holding a grudge towards those who left or couldn't love you back. But like, I mean, that it might not just be a person. Yes, relationships are highlighted here, but this could be anything. This could be about loss of anything. Once grief is fully processed, it can ignite a deeper commitment to love. You know that your alignment with Source is not a matter of what comes or goes. It is determined by how much of yourself you are willing to share. And it takes immense innocence to do that. And what that means is to maybe say to someone and say, I don't know what to do. You know what this probably is a Taurus being really wicked, stubborn, and not wanting to beg, but yet they're being forced into it because of a situation. Now, again, this may not be financial. I hate it. I hate begging. That's why I go to the gods first, right? But if I have to confront survival in a way that is what? Compassionate? Again, the word just went out of my head. Humility, compassion, and self-esteem. Because self-esteem, you're a divine being in a human body that fell asleep. This is a dream, right? Brahma's dream. So we're going to wake up from this. No one stays in the same body forever. You are worth all of this universe. We all are. This mantra is ideal for opening back up to love, rebuilding trust, and addressing heartache. Just addressing heartache. My losses prove how deeply I love. Now look, there are certainly people in my life, even my boys, my cats, right? It's not fair for cats, dogs, animals, fur family to outlive their humans. It's just not that way. I was raised by a nursery school teacher. I was raised with that. It's like, this is the compassionate thing, to not to have to relocate them and find them, or maybe they end up on the street, right? It's how it is. So I know when my boys cross, if they cross before I do, I'm going to cry my fucking eyes out, because that's only going to prove how deeply I love it. I'm going to hate it in the moment that it happens. But I won't be dragging it around with me. That's baggage, right? That's fear. And it's lead. And it can be delayed but not prevented. Because we're all one. How can you lose? I know. It sounds so like the so saccharine, so love and light. I'm a witch. I'm a zombie and witch. Let's get the hidden blessing, the gold within the lead from the Blessed Be by Lucy Cavendish. It's got to lighten up this reading, so we'll say it, we like it. Lucy Cavendish, I love her work. The mystical Celtic blessing cards to enrich and empower, but that's why I consecrated this particular deck to the pantheons of all pantheons, all traditions, lineages, and cultures. The prayers in here are amazing, which is why we do them for realsies. But at the end of that, we'll do the blessimation, and then we'll talk about some cool stuff going on during the circle productions if you are so interested. But for now, please take a nice deep breath. Still point. Pantheonic override. As I call upon the pantheons of all pantheons, please, a delegation from all traditions, lineages, and cultures for the Taurus collective, Sun, Moon, Rising, Venus, signs, and cross-watchers who are watching this video and drawn to this reading. Please, beloved ones, what is the gold hidden within the lead, just waiting to be alchemized? What is the hidden blessing already in play? Give them some light at the end of the tunnel to help them alchemize the Beggar in the eighth. Eight of Pentacles, learner on the inner, Heracles on the outer, removing obstacles with Innocence, Oakwood Hosie's balance, the healing of fear with Hyena, and processing their grief because their losses prove how deeply they loved. What is that gold within the lead? Some light at the end of the tunnel for the Taurus collective and cross watchers, this full to new. A blessing of forgiveness. Guilt is debt. Debt forgiveness? Do you know what I mean? And that's symbolic. Or is it? General read. Card number 31. Card number 31, a blessing of forgiveness. If this is financial, I mean, so many books have been written about manifesting prosperity and spirituality. It's an inside job for sure. Oh, I thought I was there. I'm not. Is that a 51? No, it's a 31. A blessing of forgiveness. Is this a long one? Oh, this is a long one. Buckle up. Breathe. Still point. Pantheonic override. Card number 31, a blessing of forgiveness. A blessing to be able to be free of the burden of grudges and vengeance. A prayer to help you open up to the blessing that is forgiveness. There is no healing without forgiveness. But what version were you taught, by the way? Forgiveness is a tricky beast, and yes, for all, it is a gentle word. It is a great beast, forgiveness. For when we seek to forgive, we must wrestle with the wrongdoing that lies at the heart of our resistance, to let go of the pain we are holding on to. When we need to forgive, it is often that we are too raw, too far away from justice to be able to even touch the sides of the balm of forgiveness. Yet staying angry for long periods of time can develop into a compacted bitterness. A bitterness is a gall to all who wish to live freely. It is a struggle to forgive when we are in the midst of the fallout of another person's actions. There is a great deal of victim blaming within our cultures, but in older times, in the Celtic world, there was restorative justice, and it would have gone a long way to forgiveness. In the Old Testament worldview, which has influenced our legal systems and our cultural ways of addressing wrongs, punitive justice is the main form, and forgiveness comes about usually after a wrong is righted. But what can we do when the wrong is still very much alive, and to forgive another seems to be diminishing their harm and their potential harm to others? Justice and forgiveness must work hand in hand. And in this blessing they will now begin to entwine, so that while you begin to forgive first yourself for whatever wrong was done to you, there is often an element of self-blame. There was once another way to restore what was taken through right action, and thus the path to forgiveness was free from vengeance. In numerous New Age philosophies, responsibility is apportioned to the individual who is suffering time and again. How did you attract this? How did you attract this is asked, and this is wrong and damaging and in some cases cruel and unethical. First, know that whatever wrong was done to you, it's not your fault, and begin the work of forgiving yourself. It's all part of the journey. You were sent into this life to do this, to deal with this. We all have, sooner or later. May the blessing of this self-forgiveness be bestowed upon you now, dear friend. Know you will gently untangle the doubt and recriminations that have settled like thorns about your heart and invaded your mind's peace. And as you begin to forgive yourself, you will also begin to find forgiveness for the injustices you have endured. For in that forgiveness and acceptance, and ability to know clearly that wrongdoing was done, you will begin to return to yourself. You will be wiser, yet unpoisoned. Slowly, may the pain and the bitter buds wither, and in their place may you be reborn, honestly able to remember, wiser, in order to prevent this event from taking place again, and able to recall without pain. And the justice that the universe will deliver to you will be restorative, bringing back to you threefold what was taken by another. May you be free of the pain at last. Let the anger burn down into coals from which you phoenix-like can arise, and know you have forgiven. Forgiven the other for their dark gift, forgiven life, and most of all, delivered the pure medicine of forgiveness to yourself, which is necessary to remove obstacles to innocence. For the well-being of all, and with harm to none, as we will it, so let it be done. So mote it be. And so it is. Tricky read. Beggar in the 8th, humility, your authority, your compassion, and your self-esteem. You have the courage to do this. You have the foundational wisdom. Just keep moving forward. That innocence is at the core of all of us, even whoever screwed up, whoever made the boo-boo, whoever made the mistake, right? So calling upon archangels, so sweet quid Hosey, to bring balance to your relationships here. And yes, there is fear, but there's probably fear on all sides. It's probably not just you, it might be the other person as well. And of course, to process the grief, because something was lost here, right? And your losses prove how deeply you loved. That there is a blessing here to teach you how to forgive, and if we knew how to forgive, this world would have been in nirvana thousands of years ago. It's a word, and there are different systems of forgiveness, and some of them don't work anymore, based on the Newtonian version, right? Subject, object, nothing between the two, but in the quantum, as we forgive ourselves little by little by little, understanding that it's a journey, that we're immortal, eternal, divine beings playing roles down here, well, then that can give us a little more wiggle room. So hang in there. And by all means, Should you need help, reach out. If you are interested in a private session with me, let's get this part out of the way, all right? Patreon.com/drawingthecircle. All of my subscribers, except not the free trialers, they're gonna have to sign on full time, or at least for a month, right? $3 as a secret gets you a significant discount in booking a private session with me, and I am here to serve. This is what I do for a living. It is my passion, my hunger, my thirst to do this in this world. No question, right? And I've helped so many people that, you know, I had to up my prices because of inflation and whatnot. It's 25 years. It's on my website. There's a video that explains all of it. But my patrons, you get me every day. Regardless of the level of subscription, I will do all that I can to support people in their own moving forward in life, and they're doing the shadow work, because as one of us do it, it makes it better for everyone and shifts us to a more golden timeline. So hang in there. Oh, did I click that off? Patreon, blah, blah, blah. Mark Angelo, Lyons, you can call me Mel. Yeah, booking a reading with Mel. The video is done. It's out there. Click the link, check it out, reach out. And I will never turn anyone away because of finances. It says, I think it's one of the first things I say in the video once I insure myself. I'll never turn somebody away because of lack of finances. Where there's a witch, there's a way. An amber zombie and witch, there's a way. So hang in there, reach out. I can see maybe not wanting to comment on this video, but if you want to, go ahead. And if you want more of me here on YouTube, please subscribe. And, you know, I love you. I love Taurans. Us earth signs, we gotta stick together. We're the only sane ones, usually in a room full of zodiacs. So, hang in there. I believe in you. Your courage is here. Maybe call on Heracles. Couldn't hurt. Wishing you the very, very best and the very, very blessed, my beloved bulls. Heal. Hail. Farewell. And blessed, blessed be.